Let me see you close your mouth and just keep it closed.
Well, you know that's impossible.
No, keep it closed.
You know that's impossible. I'm the greatest. And I'm knocking out all bones. And if you get too small, I'll knock you out.
Everybody stop talking now. Attention. I told you, all of my critics, I told you all that I was the greatest of all time when I beat Sonny Liston. I told you today I'm still the greatest of all time. Never again defeat me. Never again say that I'm going to be defeated. Never again make me the underdog until I'm about 50 years old. Right. Then you might get me.
Put your bad self. Say it loud. Say it loud. Look here. Some people say we got a lot of malice. Some say it's a lot of nerve.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the OZone. Live from Koreatown, this is Omar Miller, at Omar Miller on Twitter, and at Omar Benson Miller on Instagram, and I'm here with my brother from the same mother, Terry
Miller Icons at Instagram.
That's good. You're back on. Come on. I thought you were the greatest.
That's what
I thought you were the greatest.
I'm
what
not.
happened?
When it comes to the handles, I don't got it. My handles are suspect. That's why I play defense.
There you go. It's at Icons. You can follow my brother at EYECONZ or Z if you are from London town. So we got a beautiful show for you today. I know me, myself, I want to speak on a lot of stuff. We started this show off with the champ, with the self-proclaimed, and then made everyone a believer, greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Rest in power, champ. He has passed away and has left this earth, and he's left the earth a better place than he found it. We're gonna speak about the champ. We're gonna speak about the French Open. Novak Djokovic
Gave it to him.
Serena Williams having a hard time getting over the hump. We got a lot of things to speak on, but unfortunately, we got to speak on the NBA Finals.
Unfortunately, and I'm ashamed of myself.
I say unfortunately because
I blame it on Omar.
Blame it on me because I led people astray. I feel like the false prophet right now.
I'm very disappointed in the Cavs. That was very, very disgusting. Disgusting.
You can't even speak. It's so bad. And you know what's crazy is that I'm disappointed in the Cavs, and I hate to say this, but I'm actually disappointed in LeBron James.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand. In the first game,
they can bring you down, though.
They bring you down. There's no doubt about it. But you got J.R. Smith out there who looks like he decided to bake right before the game. I mean, he is literally brain dead out there.
Yeah.
And you know, let's just recap where we are. It's 2-0 as of this recording for the Golden State Warriors, for the defending champion Golden State Warriors.
And they're looking great.
And they look so confident, and they look like they're having so much fun. And they're heading to Cleveland, which you feel like they couldn't care less about where they play. At this point, they could beat the Cavs in Cleveland, on Mars, in Antarctica. You set up a hoop at a Nerf hoop, and they're gonna run them
on live. Doesn't matter. They're looking great, and the Cavaliers are looking horrible.
Yeah, it is X-Nay on the Cavs. It's a bad situation. I just can't understand. To me, Coach Lou has to share the blame here.
He does.
All of the players do. And somewhere in Turkey, David Blatt is living high on the hog. David Blatt got paid the rest of his salary, and he probably put the entire $10 million on the Golden State Warriors to win this series.
Why not? Why not?
Because, they fired a coach who won 75% of his games, which is unheard of. But
he didn't have the players' respect, though.
He did not have the players' respect. And then what we see happen was it seemed like Tyronn Lue was able to come in and right the ship because these guys ran through the Eastern Conference in the second half of the season, and then they ran through the Eastern Conference in the playoffs.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you think that the layover has something to do with that?
No. If anything, and you can, check the last podcast, I felt like the layover was actually going to help the Cavs because LeBron James, when you look at his numbers, he has an extra 2+ seasons on his body from playoff wear and tear.
That's a true story.
And so having an extra few days off, with world-class treatment, I can only see that being a positive.
Yeah.
I can't make any excuses for what I'm seeing on my TV tube. In game one,
it's just a lack of adjustments.
And I'm going to go as far as to say, in the words of Mark Jackson, it's a lack of effort. The East Coasters talk about effort. And this is what's going on. I don't see the Cavs caring enough. I don't see enough heart. I don't see enough pride. Last year in the finals, honest to God, those guys had pride. And there was 3 guys in particular who really wanted to win last year.
Right.
King James, Dellavedova. Deli really wanted to win last year. Nice D. He did. I'm not mad at Deli. Deli's giving you what Deli can give you.
Honestly, at this point, I would shake it up and put Deli in the starting lineup.
At this point, Kyrie. I can't start.
You can't go that far.
I can't go that far.
Yeah, let's go that far. Let's go that route.
It can't get any worse.
We're 0-2.
And he lost by 30 plus. That had to be the worst loss in finals history last night. I don't know if it's official, but that's the worst loss I've ever seen.
By 30. I think it was like 25.
Well, then those guys who got the lead down need to start.
Right.
But if it was me, I was having a conversation with a friend of the OZone that used to go by the handle Next Victim, and he actually had something wise to say for once, and he was about sports. It seemed like he actually watched this series. And he was talking about how Richard Jefferson was doing everything he could last night to win, and I really believe that he did.
Yeah, he was diving for balls. He was doing all the dirty grunge work.
And he was also to the rack. He was finishing. He was fouling guys and not giving up an easy layup like everybody else.
Right. I even saw him check a couple of people coming through the key.
I saw him stab a guy. The rest didn't see it.
Hey, man, don't say it.
Short blade. No, okay, it wasn't much blood. And so I would go with Mo Williams. You haven't even had a Mo Williams sighting. You could go with Mo Williams. You could go with Kyrie at the 2.
What about Timofey?
You could go with. Can I get through that?
Mozgov.
And so because Mozgov wanted to win last year in the finals,
then he was a problem.
But I would go with King James at the 3. I would go with Tristan Thompson, and I would go with Mozgov. Or I substitute Mozgov out, and I go with Richard Jefferson in there. I go Kyrie Irving at the 1, King James at the 2, Richard Jefferson at the 3, Tristan Thompson, 90, 50, 40, and then come back with Channing Frye.
See, now this is where you lose me because Tristan Thompson looks terrible.
He's playing hard though.
I didn't see that. I didn't even see the effort out there.
I saw the effort. No. I saw the effort.
Nah.
He even had a couple. You think he's garbage, son?
He's garbage,
son.
Come on, B.
Either way it goes, the whole team is garbage.
Yeah, but Tristan Thompson, man, this dude is too big to be out there playing soft like that. He's got to,
especially when he's got so much size over Draymond Green.
Come on, man.
I mean, nobody's punishing anybody.
Have your way with it.
Let's on camera, everybody's watching. And I tell you, let's talk about another friend of the OZone is Kevin Love.
Yeah,
Kevin Love has disappeared. His post moves look non-existent when he gets the ball in the post.
Last night on the back of the head,
he did get tapped, and I hope the young man doesn't develop CTE behind that.
Right, but this is where LeBron usually wakes up. If somebody gets hurt, then LeBron turns it up a notch. But you know, when he's not, when he can pass the ball, it almost like he needs somebody to get hurt or something tragic to happen before he turns it up to level 10.
Last year, when he put up those retarded video game numbers on the Warriors in the finals,
stupid.
Never seen anything like it. When he put those numbers up, that's when I became a believer. That's when I moved to Believeland, because this dude put up numbers that I've never seen, and his effort was through the roof. And I expected that from him in the finals. I've been watching him throughout the playoffs, and I thought, he's reserving his energy because he knows they don't need that.
Time.
Exactly. He's giving me Joe Biden, and then instead he gave me Joe the Plumber, because when he showed up in Golden State in game one, when he showed up, he must have passed out of the key 10 times when he's right next to the basket.
I don't understand why teams get caught up in the 3-point game.
Because it's cute. It's sexy.
You pointed it out last night because in the first 3 to 5 minutes.
The first 3 minutes.
Yeah, when they were missing
9 minutes and 15 seconds. They didn't score till 9:23 or something like that.
Missing
the Warriors didn't even score.
Missing all those threes. Instead of them going in and getting easy layups, they went and shot threes with them.
If we're playing a team, and I'm talking about on the rec league on Sundays, if we are playing a team that we know can light it up from outside and we hold them scoreless for almost 3 minutes, we got to be up 10-0. Got to be.
And it's a lot of work to come back.
Yeah. Because that puts them in a position to have to shoot more threes.
Yeah. And if you can put defense on them and slow them up a little bit, you get even more rebounds, which can lead to even more easier buckets.
Which leads me to say it's almost as if Tyronn Lue and the rest of the guys got caught up at the strip club in Toronto and did not watch the Oklahoma City Thunder series against the Warriors. Because to me, the Thunder gave the NBA the blueprint on how to beat the Warriors.
Right.
And yet they just didn't know how to close, which was an epic, they fell apart.
Well, it's another problem, too, because Russell Westbrook fell into the same trap it looks like that Kyrie Irving is falling into. Is that the 101 game, where you're going to teach Steph Curry a lesson and show him.
And you're not going to teach Steph Curry anything.
He's the best offensive weapon in the league right now, so give him that.
I can't front. And LeBron can't front anymore.
Yeah, but both sides of the ball. Come on, dude. Let's play both sides of the ball. And then that's where you have a complete player, and that's the difference in the game. But if you're going to sit there and try to match 3-pointers with him, then you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. You're going to lose if you try to match 3-pointers with them, because at any given time, they got 4 guys on the court that can hit you from behind the stripe.
Right. Well, I live with Draymond shooting threes.
I will too if you actually get a hand up. I mean, Draymond shot front rim, back rim, off the glass.
And then they don't get the boards.
And then they don't get the boards. And then you got such terrible defense. You got one cut and open. They have decided they're going to crash on Clay and Steph and trap them. And so then you get Iggy off of one cut across the lane, wide open for a dunk.
Right. Come on, dude. And then you have they're double teaming LeBron before he even touches the ball. So, you got to hit your open shots, J.R. Smith.
I need you to hit the open shots. Iman, I need you to hit the open shots.
Oh, Amani looked hungry last night, though. He was hungry like the wolf.
He was Duran.
He was.
He was. His name was Rio last night. Although I can't roll with my man's haircut. I saw a beautiful meme on Twitter that said my man looked like the character Hollywood from Mannequin. And then they showed the picture, and he did. It was terrible. Let me pull it up. You're gonna die when you see this. But nah, man. But you know what? I need guys to hit. I need better shot selection in general.
I need high percentage shots. I don't need you to shoot threes. I don't need, what is it? At least 60 to 75% of all of their shots are threes.
It's like they got caught up in that whole
when they were hitting theirs.
And it's like they want to get in a 3 off, and they want to show that they can do it. That they can beat them at their own game.
And in that, you're playing their game, and you lose because that's their game. Let me play my game.
Come on, man.
Give the ball to Bron and let me go big truck series.
And I don't know what to say.
Give the ball to LeBron and let them get naked and afraid.
This is what I was telling you guys about. Look at my man Hollywood. I used to love that movie Mannequin. I love it. I loved Mannequin. It was such a good movie. It had my man in it. That's on Major Crimes now.
Oh yeah, right.
I think he had a dog named Otis. We're gonna get ya. It was great. But yeah, man, come on. I'm so disappointed, and I just want to apologize. So I got to apologize, Soldier Boy. I'm going to turn into Ice-T for this segment. Because look here, cuz I'm coming straight from L.A., and I'm here to apologize for even supporting the squad like the Cavs. Because sometimes when you are OG in the game, you just got to look back and say, damn, I got to take that. I got to take these motherfucking threes, cuz. And I can't believe what I'm saying. You get blown. And the worst part to me is, after the games, the guys do the press conferences and they wear it, but they wear it like it's no big deal. Oh, we got to play better. It was
you don't have to worry about it in a little while.
Yeah, you got 2 more days, man. You on vacation. And now that leads me to talk about the next step, because if they play like this, I don't see how they don't get swept. This is a replay of the game that we watched as a family on Christmas Day,
right,
when Golden State went to Cleveland and beat the crap out of them by like 25 or something.
And honestly, we're putting a lot of pressure on the Cavaliers, but Golden State is supposed to win those 2 games at home. It's just the way that they lost those games.
It was the way that they lost. They look like a college team.
You're giving them credit.
You're right. I'd rather bet on North Carolina than them.
They look like our team, our record.
They look like our
Sunday league. DGAF.
They do. And then that's not enough in the show.
Enough.
You're not getting paid that much money to look like that. I mean, do you need a cold drink to get it started? What is going on, MC Hammer? I don't get it. Yeah, I like that. You forgot about it. Let's get it started. Oh. Your party wasn't jumping and your DJ was weak. Instead of shooting threes, he decided with me. It's all bad. I mean, it's literally like MC Hammer needs to play for the squad. I don't understand. Now, this leads me to...
It looks like he is.
Right? And now, old Hammer.
Right.
He's out there doing his
with the
moves.
fresh legs.
Come on, man. I saw J.R. Smith not finishing plays.
I saw J.R. Smith take himself out the game. I don't understand that. I'm in the finals. I can't take myself out the game. I have to be selfish at this point and say, you know what? I'm going to hurt the team.
I got to hurt the team.
I'm going to keep shooting threes.
But here's the problem. He doesn't even put any shots up.
Yeah, right. And then, a couple people were complaining about him like he wasn't getting the ball. He got looks. He got looks.
If you're out there with LeBron James, you're going to get looks because he requires so much attention.
Passive aggressive.
Now, what I want to see, other than the fact that what I want to see is them play more than twice a week because the NBA is just full of that. They just milk it.
Man, milky cereal, right?
It is. Wow. It is. Melky Cabrera is out there. What is going on? But whatever. So, okay, NBA's getting over. They're making their ad money. They're making sure the games come on Sundays. If the Cavs get swept, right, what does LeBron James do? This is what I want to speak on. He's in a lose-lose situation.
He's in a lose-lose situation anyway.
Except for the fact that he's rich and young and maybe one of the coolest people on the planet. I think he's already won. Let's preface his lose-lose by saying that he's already won. This is the most losing you can do for being a stone-cold winner in life.
But, look at the guy, man. They put so much pressure on him. He's got, 2 titles already. He's scoring titles and everything else. And all everybody says is that he needs to do more. I mean, damn, dude. Come on, 6 times in a row to the finals.
But this is what I want to speak on, is that if he leaves Cleveland, again, he's the worst guy in the world.
I would have to be the worst guy in the world.
He did it before, and I think he had a good time down in Miami myself. I know I always have a good time anytime I get to sneak down to Miami, especially if it's on somebody else's dime.
Right.
It's the best. And so
he should come light up LA for a little while then. If that's the case.
They said he just picked up a $25 million piece of property on the west side in Brentwood.
Maybe that's telling you something.
Could be. But they said Kevin Durant picked that up too. Picked him up a piece.
Yeah. Well, who would you rather have?
On the Lake Show?
Yeah. Durantula or Jameis?
Jameis Winston?
No, LeBron Jameis.
That's a good question. I probably still go with 90-50-40 personally. but Kevin Durant, I didn't appreciate Kevin Durant's work in the semifinals. He showed me some bad tendencies. I didn't appreciate.
He was very loose with the ball.
Loose with the ball, B. Loose. He was loose with the ball, and then on top of that, terrible shot selection. I saw, there was in those last 2 or 3 games 5, 6, and 7. I bet you if you could look up his fourth quarter shooting, he was probably 5 for 35.
And the fourth quarter is where you tell the truth, Snaggatooth, because he probably doesn't have any legs.
Rounds.
He doesn't have any legs, though.
He's so skinny.
Yeah, he's so skinny. I mean, and he probably just doesn't have the legs to perform. This is one of the furthest times he's ever been, right?
This deep.
Yeah, this deep and into the playoffs.
He's balls deep in the playoffs here, all right?
He's balls deep.
I don't know if the balls are to the wall, all right? And I don't know if he's got enough. I don't know if he can reach it. So
he can't.
This is what I wonder about, because now back to the LeBron thing. Realistically, if you leave Cleveland,
Cleveland.
You're vilified by people in Cleveland only, realistically, which is
a handful,
which is about 45 people, and a lot of freaking child molesters and killers. Apparently,
right.
What is going on out in Ohio with all of these serial killers and everything?
It's the serial killer capital of the United States, right?
I don't want none.
I don't even want to fly over the state. Damn. Can I get a bodyguard over the state?
They might hit you with a poison dart from the ground, bring you down, boy. Yeah, no, this is the problem. But you have that. If he leaves, if he stays, he's a loser. So how's the win-win?
They have to tell him, front office has to go to him and say, hey, look, man, we recognize that we signed a bunch of losers and we're going to bring in da.
But he was a reason.
Once they brought in Kevin Durant.
He was a reason they signed a bunch of losers.
He was. He thought. You think you thought. Because what he thought.
Shout out to E40. He thought.
Because what he thought was that maybe these guys would be a little bit better after they went through it the first time. And obviously they haven't grown. And you would think that, right? I mean, we've been there. Okay, so the pressure and everything else that goes with it, I can handle it a little bit better. But now, I mean, you recognize that they're terrible. They didn't learn anything. Dude.
They're terrible. And you know what
and
he
maybe
thought?
They'll turn it around. Uh-oh.
I want to be saved. LeBron thought he could save him. He thought. And I tell you, J.R. Smith's mind wasn't right.
Wasn't.
Tristan Thompson got his $85 million, and it seems like his mind is on other things.
Yeah.
Richard Jefferson wants to win,
But he's almost out the game, so
and
you can
he's only
understand
got
that.
so much bounce
Right.
left, and he almost got hung on the rim last night trying to dip. And Richard Jefferson's one of the high flyers. For those who don't know,
Right.
Richard Jefferson is one of the highest flyers in league history. That dude used to smash on people.
Yeah. He got some springs.
He had him, always has had him.
Yeah.
Mozgov can't even make a contribution. Which
Well,
is,
he can't make a contribution if you're not in the game. You
that's
gotta
what
get
I'm
in the
saying.
game,
He
dude.
can't
Come
make
on,
it. He
dude.
can't, and he showed that he was serious last year.
Yeah, he looked pretty good out there this time.
He
though,
did.
in
He just looked a little
Junktown.
rusty.
Yeah, but you don't play, you're rusty.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
But so then if you leave, where do you go for your King James? If I leave,
I'm an assassin, dude. I would sign a 1-year contract every single year till I'm like 45.
you don't need any dough. You got a Billy coming from Nike.
Yeah, but still, I can't play for nothing. They don't respect that.
No. I'm saying I'm saying
Yeah.
to support the idea of signing the 1 year deal.
Right. So he can jump from city to city, wherever they got the cheese, especially since the Barn Doors is about to open up next season.
Ooh.
So, I would jump because nobody respects his talent anyway, and nobody
sure
gives him
don't.
the kind of love that he's supposed to get.
So where do you go?
Probably to Miami.
Realistically,
Yeah, just to hang out. Not even to play. Hey, man, you see that?
after you finish finger popping, where do you go to play?
Yeah, you know what? We got a lot of options out there. I would go and try to win one where no one's ever been close to winning one,
Really?
Oh, you know what?
Milwaukee?
Yeah, he can go to Milwaukee. You know what? I would go somewhere that they have a legend of winning is Boston. Go to Boston.
Man, if he played with Isaiah Thomas, are you
Are you
kidding?
kidding?
You know where he could go and also be
Marcus
super
Smart
nice.
and Jared Sullinger.
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
That would be a great.
And that coach is great.
He is great.
I tell you where else he could go and make some noise would be the Portland Trailblazers. I don't think he wants to live in Portland, but
They don't have any bigs though.
But I'm going to tell you where he needs to go, and you said it. He should go back and play in Miami. Dwayne Wade still has enough because, see, Dwayne Wade
With
is
Hassan
a
Whiteside.
killer.
He's a killer.
He's a killer. And then you get rid of Joe Johnson. Absolutely. You might need to get rid of Luol Deng because I'm not sure if Luol Deng's a loser or not. The jury's still out.
But you don't need him though. You don't need him.
You don't
to do
need that
anything.
much.
Yeah.
Goran Dragic, I actually believe is a winner. He wants to. He wants it. He needs to work on his
Goran
skills.
is being overmatched though by all these young guys that are.
But let me tell you something. That kid
Lot of
Hassan
blowback.
Whiteside ain't getting overmatched by nobody.
Yeah.
And if you had,
Oh yeah, but let's not say nobody.
I mean, you got
Boogie.
He ain't overmatched. They gonna go. They gonna bang.
He can't bang
They
with
gonna
Boogie.
bang.
Nobody can bang with Boogie.
I don't
Boogie
agree.
is the man.
I watched Whitesides. I watched good
Boogie is the
60
man.
Whiteside games.
You know why
this
Boogie
year.
gets you? Because Hassan Whiteside, Boogie's gonna bring him out on the perimeter.
Hassan Whiteside's got good footwork. That kid is
but
legit.
if he gets him out on the perimeter, he's not gonna get the boards. Boogie is a better athlete than he is. He's just a big man. I love
They
the
got
big.
nice post
And he
moves.
does, but Boogie has
And he
it all.
plays defense.
Boogie has it all.
But you wouldn't have to see Boogie in the Eastern Conference but one time a year probably.
Yeah.
And he'll probably be suspended for that game. Because Boogie's out on some other stuff. But
Andre Drummond's nice.
Andre Drummond is nice.
He can't hit free throws. He's worse than
Yeah, he
your
can't
boy.
free throw. But if you say DeAndre, but if you stay with him, if they went back down there, because I think Chris Bosh is going to end up having to retire.
Yeah, I do
realistically,
too.
I don't know. Is there another option for Bosh?
Only if Bosh just says to himself, "I'm willing to die on the court." Much like Muhammad Ali said when he fought Joe Frazier that he was willing to die in the ring.
Man,
You just have to make those decisions. You can't literally stop the guy. So if they say that they're not going to let him play, then he's going to go somewhere else and play. Somebody's going to let him play.
somebody's going to let him play. You know what else somebody's going to let you do?
What?
Sign up to the 5-4 Club. Woo, ladies and gentlemen, we got a deal for you. Go to 54club.com, use promo code OMAR, and you will receive a package of clothing that you get to keep that's worth $150 or more every single month. You're talking curated, styled clothes for your style. Get sharp this summer, winter, spring, and fall, and become a member of the 5-4 Club. Our producer and engineer, Ernie, did it, and he couldn't be more satisfied. I'm giving you a discount here. Omar at 54club.com. Crazy day, crazy week. Moving on. I want to talk about the greatest of all time.
Man, that's like 2 years worth.
Of podcasting.
Yeah, of no break podcasting.
I mean, you think about it. This guy, let's talk about Muhammad Ali's impact on the world. Forget about sports. On the world. This guy transcended his sport through the self-prophecy and the self-confidence in one of the most turbulent and difficult periods for a black man in this country, and he took on the world. Now, whether you agreed with a lot of the stuff that he stood for or not, it's the fact of the matter is he stood for something. He was a principled man that stood for something and was willing to sacrifice for what he believed. You don't see that in sports nowadays.
You don't see that in the world nowadays.
Wow. Speak on it, brother.
Yeah, because how many people stand up for what they believe? Everybody's hiding behind Twitter handles and everything else. Social media is a way for the weaklings to get out and say reckless stuff and not pay for it.
It's the truth.
Yeah, but how many times will somebody get up and stand up in front of a camera and say, hey, you know what? I don't agree and it's not right. And this is this and that is that. And that's it. You know, and everybody.
Especially when that's going to cost you directly financially.
Right.
Other than the heart of a champion, which we'll cover in a second, let's just speak about the thing. Me personally, that I just admired so much about Muhammad Ali, which was the idea that he had a great perspective on finance versus integrity.
Right.
In his principle sense. And it really
wasn't willing to give it up.
He wouldn't bend.
Yeah.
He wouldn't break.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal. And he got the raw deal in a lot of ways, you know, and there were times, the thing that I loved about him is that the man was able to recognize and admit when he was wrong.
Yeah, that's very, very important.
It is.
It's humongous as a man. You know?
As a man, he showed
that, hey,
so
man,
much.
I messed up.
I remember that quote that we read that was just incredible when he said the biggest regret he had in his life was how he turned his back on Malcolm X.
Right.
That's big, man. That's a really big thing to say because
humongous.
You're saying I was wrong. And
and how hard is that to do right now? Like even on the podcast to say, "Oh man, I messed up. My stats are bad."
Let me tell you something. I didn't even want to say that about the Warriors. I'm tempted to erase the last podcast when I predicted the Cavs might win in 5. And let alone you're talking about on a worldwide scale, people's lives are in the balance. This guy has been called in to negotiate peace around the world.
Right? Was he got 15 hostages released from Saddam Hussein at one point or something like that?
Come on, man. Yeah. That makes you the greatest of all time.
Right.
It is not about whether or not you slugged it out with George Foreman, you shook up the world with Sonny Liston. It's the fact of the matter is that after sport, this guy dedicated his life to making the world a better place.
Now, how do you think that conversation went when he went over to speak to these guys about getting these hostages released?
I can tell you exactly how it went. He showed up and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm here. And they were like, "Brother, can we take a picture? You tell me about the left hook you took from Joe Frazier. He knocked you down, brother." Okay, well, we speak on that. and it's just a trip though, because how does the conversation work? I read something else that was incredible when they were talking about how he was flying over the country one night with a group of reporters and he said, "You guys see all those lights? I could go in any one of these houses and somebody will know me and they'll welcome me into these homes." That is huge. And he wasn't saying it in a braggadocious kind of way. As much as braggadocio as the champ had, he wasn't, after fighting, and from what I understand in private, he was actually really humble, really generous, and he did what he could to make things better for people. It's so important. I don't think that we even have anybody that really stands for that in sports today.
Like I said, I don't see anybody who stands for that, period. I mean, there's a lot of people with influence and power, and they usually use it to smash people.
Or they use it to roll over to whatever's popular for the day.
Right. Or to make $1 million, $1 billion, and keep it pushing.
That's it.
You know?
And there's something really to be said about that, because you brought up something earlier that was great about Muhammad Ali and his charitable work. And he made public a lot of his charitable work. I'm sure he did a lot of it in private as well. But he made public his charitable work. And again, not in a braggadocio kind of way, in a way to make people understand that, hey, giving is living. And this is life. Is you can live through your faith and through the Lord, and you can make somebody else's life better. That's more important than anything. I read this great quote where he said, "I conquered the entire world and it didn't satisfy me. And makes me understand that there's more to life than what you can buy."
Right. I mean, how much can you have? I mean, he had everything. You know, he had his fill of women. He's had all kind of money. He's had championships and everything. But
adulation,
come on, dude.
And he said that.
He understood.
And he said that the Lord gave him that disease, the Parkinson's disease, to make sure that he never thought that he was actually the greatest. that there was always somebody above him. And I tell you what, 34 years. I think they said it was 34 years that he lived with the disease.
Right, and 29,000 punches
Whew,
that he absorbed.
And of that 29, he probably gave out a good 150,000. Oh my goodness! Oh
But
my goodness!
you're talking about heavyweights.
Not
talking about.
we talking about the big boys.
Yeah, not the flyweights who take like 10,000 punches in one fight to knock you down.
And we're talking about the big boys, the biggest of the big boy era ever.
Right. Foreman, Ron Lyles,
Ken Norton.
Ernie Shavers. Ernie Shavers, you watch a fight between him and Ernie Shavers, Ernie Shavers hit him so hard, I was like, oh my goodness, he looked like somebody just dropped a piano on top of him.
Yeah, Larry
but he
Holmes.
didn't fall.
No, the heart of the champion is just over the top. I mean, completely and totally over the top for this guy. I wonder how many professional athletes now will take Muhammad Ali's passing and actually internalize it and really examine themselves to say, and not just professional athletes, we can all do it.
Yeah.
But especially those of us like myself who are in the public eye and examine it and then really just say, you know what?
Yeah, let it marinate.
Yeah, you need to digest that and look at this man's body of work outside of the ring and really say, wow, what is it that I am about? What am I made of? What am I made of? And what do I want to be made of?
Right.
What do I want to be? This guy's legacy, good, bad, and ugly, is all there because he was willing to be himself unapologetically.
Right. And at the end of the day, he can live with himself, you know?
He can live with himself.
How many people can say that? They pass and they're just like, oh man, I really was a bad person.
I think when you pass, I don't know if you really say, that was a bad thing. You think you got other things to do
I think
when you pass.
Well, I don't know what you have to do. Thank goodness. I'm not interested in finding out right now.
Come on.
But
we have a special guest. The Grim Reaper's here, ladies and gentlemen.
I think you over
this
here
is going to be our last podcast.
Ernie?
Yeah, you dude. Yeah, no, you're right. It's very difficult very, very difficult to have that kind of examination. I mean, he's such an inspirational figure. You're talking about, to this day, he's probably the most famous athlete on the planet.
Right, and he could have went 0 dark 30 on you because once he got hit with Parkinson's, he could have been like, I'm out. I'm out of the public eye. This is a raw deal.
I'm going to hide it.
Yeah, you guys had me fighting for peanuts and everybody's living off everything I put down.
No, instead he had dignity.
Yeah, he had dignity and pride. He came out and, did the right thing.
And think about how much research has been done in his name because he was willing to show the world his struggles.
Right.
So just incredible. I mean, the icons brought Muhammad Ali to my attention as a young boy.
Yeah.
And I remember the first Muhammad Ali fight that I watched was his last fight, I do believe, against Trevor Berbick, wasn't it? Or was it
Trevor?
I think Trevor Berbick knocked him out. And it was really, it was the last thing. But Larry Holmes was the first one that I watched, and then Trevor Berbick. And then we watched Mike Tyson kill Larry Holmes because he said he was
he was
front row when Larry Holmes punished Muhammad Ali.
He had to teach him a lesson.
He had to teach him a lesson.
Don't do that to this boy.
Good work, Mike. Shout out to Mike Tyson. Man, it's wow. And you know what? They get us all. This is what happens. They're going to get us all. So you better get your life together because you don't know when that date and that time is coming. We do not know. Now, what we do know is that there's 3 things that can make you refreshed: water, chlorophyll, and a little lemon squeeze. Do yourself a favor. Go to GorillaLife.com. Grab a fresh, refreshing beverage, maybe with agave sweetener, or maybe with honey, or maybe you just like yours raw, like the gorilla does.
Wow. He goes raw.
He goes raw. He's an herbivore.
Oh, raw it out.
He raws his out. That's how the gorilla does it. Get some Gorilla Life. Get some gorilla in your mouth. Get some Gorilla Life in your life, and you'll see your good health come on. I don't even wear makeup when I do television and movies, folks. And part of the reason is because I have been blessed with the good health and the secrets of the jungle of Gorilla Life.
What about the gorilla and that little kid?
Speaking of gorilla, they just said that lady's not going to face any charges.
That was ridiculous. Why would they even consider something like that? She watched her kid get all drugged through the water and everything.
I mean, that gorilla was so strong.
Man, he looked unbelievable, dude.
He's a stud. He's ripped.
So he's just standing there, chest out.
Chest out. Who
he's
wants
not
some?
naked and afraid either. He's just
naked.
I'm just naked. This is it. Go silverback.
Go silverback on him. The best. And you know what's the trip about it is that gorilla could have drugged me around at
like
300 pounds like he did that little kid.
Yeah, and they said that he can like literally pinch your head and just crush your skull.
It's like Darth Vader.
Right.
Except for he would actually have contact.
Yeah.
That's so much pressure. Can you imagine? Man, that was bad news. This is mess up that they had to kill the homie Harambe.
Right. I don't even think that, he was trying to hurt the kid.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
He was a little confused, probably. Like, what is this?
Yeah, he picked the kid up. He dusted him off what it looked like. He was like, oh,
Yeah,
you
you
got
good?
wet. Okay,
Yeah, you
let's
got
go.
wet. Come on. We're going to the other side. But what are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and wait for him to
That's what the people want, it sounds like.
dismember the kid?
Yeah, he wouldn't even have done it on purpose. It just would have been like, oh, okay, let's.
Right. I thought you were stronger than that. I didn't know your ligaments weren't bulletproof. It's just crazy. I mean, even more crazy than that is people are some more hung up talking about, the killing of the gorilla in the zoo than they are the idea that the police in America kill 3 people a day.
Right.
Of all races. You don't hear people outraged about that. 3 people a day.
That's a lot.
That's unbelievable. And then the gorillas are just out there doing the gorilla. Realistically, the outrage should be having the gorilla in the zoo.
Right?
That guy's supposed to roam the jungle.
He's supposed to be doing his thing.
Welcome to the jungle. He's got fun and games. Welcome. He's welcoming you to the jungle. You want to jump in the cage?
You want to jump in the cage? I'm here for you. You're in my element.
This is bad luck. Speaking of a bad look, I want to talk about the French Open.
Ooh, Murray, man.
Okay, so then let's speak on it. So Novak Djokovic won the French Open. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan. I got to go to Roland Garros, courtesy of the Tennis Channel. If you don't have the Tennis Channel, go subscribe. There's a Tennis Channel app that's fantastic, actually, that gets you coverage from all over the world, every tournament, and you can watch it live on your phone. It's pretty impressive.
Right.
And Novak actually completed the career Grand Slam, and he won 4 straight Grand Slams. So that's like incredible. So you're talking about this guy won the Australian, the French, Wimbledon, and the New York U.S. Open all in a row. That's incredible. And he's only the 8th man. I think he's maybe the 3rd man in history to do that. 3rd to the 8th, one of them. He beat up on Andy Murray.
And it wasn't even really competitive like that.
First set, Novak dropped it, but Novak seems to have a tendency to do that. But the thing that I want to speak on is that Andy Murray is a career underachiever, in my opinion. Andy Murray is the first Brit, I think it was in 80 years or something, to win Wimbledon. He won Wimbledon a couple years ago. And he's been dominated before and after that. And the thing that I can't understand, I'm not mad at Andy Murray. Andy Murray's doing him. He's a stud. He's actually
what is
a big
he ranked
dude.
now?
I think Andy Murray's ranked number 2, actually.
Yeah.
And but the part that trips me out about this is why do guys like Andy Murray, Peyton Manning, why do these guys get a pass
For not achieving.
for losing
Right.
in the finals? And then you have a guy like LeBron James who the public can't wait to beat up on for losing in the finals.
I have no idea, but Murray did not look good.
I mean, he just looked overmatched. And the thing is that with guys, when you're playing at the level that Novak Djokovic is playing on, the funny thing about tennis is guys can sneak up quietly and quietly be in the conversation to be the greatest of all time.
Right.
Novak Djokovic is on a run where potentially, if he keeps up this run for a few more years of total dominance,
Won't even be a question.
you have to consider him in the greatest of all time, top 3.
Right.
I mean, the only people that are competitive with him at this point, really, Roger Federer is the only one that's competitive with him.
Right.
And Roger Federer, in tennis standards, is an old man at this point.
Right.
And Roger isn't necessarily competitive. I think head to head, I think Novak is pretty dominant over the past maybe 5 years or so. Well, realistically, the only person that Roger can't beat is Novak. And this dude is taking his career to the next level because he middled around for a little bit, and now forget about it. You're not beating Novak Djokovic. I don't care what, and I don't care what surface you're on.
Yeah. Now, do you think he's just a superior athlete?
No.
The generational thing.
No, I think there's a technique angle to it, but it's the same thing like we're talking about with Muhammad Ali. It's the same thing that we're talking about with the Golden State Warriors. He's got heart.
Right.
You watch Novak Djokovic. I mean, when the world took notice of him, there was a 5-set semifinal or final against Roger Federer a few years ago at the U.S. Open, where Roger Federer had him down 2 sets to 1 and triple match point, and went wide on a serve. And Novak came back with the most gambling shot you can come with and hit a hairline shot down the line that just barely nicked the line. And then he came back and beat Roger Federer. That's when the world really took notice of how great potentially Novak was, because he came back and ended up winning that match 3-2.
Right. Well, match point yesterday, you saw it. He just went into a little rally with him, and it seemed like he just thought to himself that Murray is eventually going to make a mistake. So let's just do this for like 2 or 3 minutes and see.
And he had such a lead, though.
Yeah.
You're talking about he ended up winning. He lost the first set 3-6. Then he ended up winning 6-1, 6-2, 6-4. Hey, man, you can play around at that point. You got a long. That's a
yeah,
you know,
a guy like him. They usually don't play around. They don't carry you. You know, he gets you out of there.
Oh yeah. Well, he got him out of there. Get out of here. Get on so. He got him out of here. But I just want to know, what is that about society that demands so much from certain guys and accepts so little from other guys? I mean, you watch it on the NBA on TNT.
I think it's marketing.
You think that's what it is? Brainwashing.
All marketing, brainwash.
Well, you watch. Look at those guys, how they ride Charles Barkley.
Right.
Charles Barkley can't say or do anything when he's sitting there talking to Shaq and Kenny Smith, because whenever he says something they don't agree with,
they bring up their
They
ring.
are quick to remind him, and how many rings did you win, Charles?
Doesn't mean that his point's not valid. I mean,
I agree.
Most of the time he's speaking truth. He just doesn't say it the way that they want to hear it.
I agree, man. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just something that makes me go, why is it that some guys get a pass? Why is it that it's okay for you to not get it done, but you're still considered great, or people are rooting for you?
Well, now it's branding. I mean, everything's branding, and that's their brand, you know? So Peyton Manning's brand is a winner, and I really don't put him up there with like Tom Brady, although everybody else would, because he has most of the records, but
if you watch the games, you don't feel like.
Yeah. And in reality, when it was down to a big game, who would you want?
Oh, come on, man.
Exactly.
Don't even talk about it. I mean, we're talking about touchdown Tommy. It's Tommy terrific. It's hard to beat that guy. So we're gonna get a recap here, because we got a caller. We got a longtime participator, friend of the Ozone. He seems to have his own following nowadays. People seem to love this man. He's calling in right now. We got Laker Quick on the line.
Hello?
Laker Quick, welcome to the Ozone.
Quick.
Ozone in the house. What's up, y'all?
Man, you tell us what's up. We're deep into the Ozone now. We're about almost an hour into the zone. And so, we've already apologized for, I brought on Ice-T, homeboy, and he apologized to the Golden State Warriors for ever thinking that a squad like the Cavs could participate in some competition. And, we spoke on that. Right now, we want to catch you kind of in the middle of a conversation. And I want to get your take on, why is it that some guys, I'm sure you're up because you're a sports aficionado. You're not just Laker Quick. You're Sports Quick. Might even change your name. But what we want to talk about is, we're talking about the French Open and how Novak Djokovic dominated Andy Murray, and how tennis is so tricky that you can look up and a guy can be in the conversation for the greatest of all time, because if Novak stays on a run like this for the next 4 or 5 years, forget about it. This is absolute and total dominance that Novak Djokovic is showing you nowadays. But what I wanted to talk about was, he beat Andy Murray in the finals, right?
Right.
Why do you think guys like Andy Murray, Peyton Manning, why do you think guys give the public, the world at large, gives them a pass for always losing in the finals, as opposed to a guy like LeBron James, who people are really always ready to pile onto? What do you think that is?
You know what? I think the easy answer would be is that on a talent scale, nobody puts Andy Murray and LeBron James in the same sentence.
Wow. Speak on it, brother.
Andy Murray is a legitimate number 3, in my opinion. He's at where he is supposed to be. And also, in an individual sport, I think there's just a little more empathy in general. Being that you just don't have any teammates to pick you up. I mean, you can't be coached in a tennis game. It's a big deal.
That's a good point.
You can't pass no signs, no winks, or nothing like that.
You can't cut to the basket. It's just you and the other man out there.
Yeah, man, look, and guess what? You don't get subbed out. You're just going to have to stand out there and get your ass whooped if you want to lose.
You don't get subbed out. You got to take that.
Like a man.
Yes, come on, man. You got to go take a leap. We'll wait.
Wow, that's a good. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
The mental toll, I think, on tennis is to the point where even if somebody is a trope artist, I feel like for the sake of their mental well-being, nobody wants to pile on. That would be the quick solution to that. I think, and also just with with the preeminence that LeBron has on the public and just, his ever presence, which he deserves, it's going to be easy for people to get on him when he comes out and says 5, 6, 7 championships. And it's looking like now that 2 might be the final tally. I mean,
could be the final countdown.
Which is not bad.
Which is 2 more than a lot of great
players. There's a lot of legends that don't have any.
Let me tell you something. Like Peyton Manning, who most people might be surprised of, I give a little bit of a pass to. Like Peyton Manning, I think LeBron, for the most part, has lost to better teams. And if you are losing to the better team, how can anybody be mad? Who's LeBron really supposed to be? It's just when you come out with these ESPN lists, which have, created so much great conversation the last couple, months or so since he came out. But when a bunch of knowledgeable minds say that LeBron is the number 3 all time, it's not his fault. But come on, we're going to have to start splitting hairs here.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, Jerry West got drug into that category, into that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you could do a week, just on that list, on just the top 10. So if you don't say the man is number 3 all time, you put him in the head of Magic, Bill Russell. I mean, hey,
that's a great point.
We're going to debate. But he's losing to the better team this year. He appeared, by this, obviously, now that we know last year wasn't no fluke. Anytime he lost to the Spurs, you'd have to say it was legit. So, hey, man.
The only team that when you put it like that, the only thing that I would say King James should have beat would be that series against Dallas. Really.
Absolutely.
When they tricked that series. But I'm looking at these numbers, like, look at this. I mean, I couldn't agree more, and that's why I love you, Laker Quick. I really appreciate your perspective here, because they're saying Murray fell to 2-8 in Grand Slam finals and 2-13 in his past 15 matches against Novak Djokovic. I mean, you're talking about, that's good money if you're making a bet there. You can bet the house on Novak against Andy Murray.
Right.
And
right.
And speaking of staying in Roland Garros, how about Serena Williams? Serena Williams cannot get over the hump when it comes to breaking Steffi Graf's record. I'm on record saying that she's the greatest female tennis player of all time, like hands down.
She's the greatest female athlete ever.
You got it out before I could. I was going to say I'm even willing to go as far as to say she's the greatest female athlete ever, at all sports, top to bottom. And yet, I wonder, do you think it's age? Do you think it's father time or mama time to be PC? Or do you think that it is focus? Why is it that she dominates all of the preliminary rounds, and for the past, 2 years now, she gets to the finals, and I don't know, that same domination just plain and simply isn't there? Do you think it's a focus issue? What do you think that is?
I think it's all the above. I think these girls have come to play, and you know what? The one she lost at the U.S. At the end of last year, she definitely should have won that one.
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't take nothing away from these last 2. These girls have stepped up and had the match of a lifetime. And once again, Serena's sitting on 9 figures, man. These girls are trying to make their way up to the upper 6s.
This is very real. The hunger is completely different.
Right.
And
Serena's probably going
35.
to Paris to as much to play the match as she is to hang out.
Right?
Yep.
Wow. I didn't think of it that way.
You have to think about as well is that when, just like he's talking about, when Kershaw goes against a bum pitcher, you see the bum pitcher usually shows up as well.
Always.
It's always 1-0.
Tight game. Tight game.
Saw that for years with the Lakers. Boy, the Lakers in they prime, somebody come to town and might beat us or come close to beating us. You'd be like, wow, these guys are good. And then the next game on the road trip, they getting blown by Phoenix or, somebody like that. And it's like, wait a minute, man. No, there's some people that rise to the occasion in the spotlight, and there are others that seem to shrink from it.
And that's all it is to it, right?
It's pretty much it, man. KD and Russell Westbrook appeared to be doing great while they're the underdogs.
They sure were.
Became the favorite in this series. All of a sudden, we nervous.
Right.
Mom spaghetti. It's a very interesting situation. Now, speaking on that, what we were talking about just a little bit ago in the podcast, if you're LeBron James, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. If you leave Cleveland, you're the worst person in the world to the 47,000 people who live in Cleveland. If you don't, then you're a loser in the vein of like a Carmelo Anthony kind of thing where you stayed for the money or blah, 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 blah. If you're LeBron James, other than work on your jumper, what do you do?
Wow. That's a great question, and it's honestly one I can't come up with an easy answer for.
There's no easy answer.
The situation is like cake compared to this. But I have to keep it real since this is OZone and that's what we do.
That's what, come on. This is unfair and partial sports. Tell it like it is, brother.
LeBron's biggest mistake was going back to that owner who publicly trashed him after LeBron more than doubled the worth of his franchise.
Ooh.
LeBron comes back to him like he owes that man anything.
He was looking out for the city, though.
I know. He was looking out for the city.
And I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm all about the civic pride. I really am. But I needed, as a man and as a black man, but even just a man. And
wait a minute, Laker Quick. Laker Quick, wait a minute. You're African American?
It's, you know what? Hey.
You're an African American man?
Are you kidding me?
I didn't even know that's what was going on here, Laker Quick. I need to talk to the booker, whoever gets these callers on this show. I could have swore I saw one African American at a Donald Trump rally the other day. It might have been you.
You know what? I kept it low because we got show, and I need the airtime, bro. So, you know.
No, go. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, man. As a man and as a black man.
Well, I just needed the public apology from the owner because the owner was completely out of bounds in the statements that he made about LeBron when he left. And I think we have two bits of bad karma coming home to roost here. The lesser of the two is LeBron coming home, which I can defend because it was for the city, and I respect that. Still, there are very few people in this world, businessmen, athletes, whatever, there are very few people who hold the power that LeBron has and has, commands the kind of economic respect that he does that would allow that kind of, attempted public humiliation. I thought that was lame, and I really honestly couldn't believe that he was going to go back to that and make this guy more tens of millions of money without a public apology. All the dude needed to say was, I'm wrong. That was my fault. I was angry. That's it.
Yeah, I think LeBron was being a bigger man. I don't need no flowery speech. And then you take that, and then what I think is even a greater factor is, man, they did that last coach dirty, bruh. Bron ain't deserve to get fired. All he did was take it to the championship. It appeared that the only reason he really lost was because everybody got hurt. Then he comes back out in the next year.
That's a good point.
At the exact halfway point of the season, he's 30-11. So you double that, that's 60-22, and you fire the dude for a cat with no experience? And, I don't want to bring my Laker fanship into have my shit on probation. I know Teron Lue's next Laker, and I'm glad he got the job. But you tell me, does he look like he's doing what he's doing right now?
He looks terrible. But the thing of it is that, with Blatt, the players, we were talking about it earlier, the players didn't respect him. And if you don't have the respect of the players, it doesn't matter, who you have up there. So if LeBron, if you go there and you're drawing up a play, LeBron's like, no, we're doing this. And so, he's not going to be able to do that with Tyronn Lue. Tyronn Lue's like, no. He tried to do that to Tyronn Lue, and Tyronn Lue put him in check.
He did. And see, once again, you know what, man? And this is a slight problem I have with LeBron. LeBron wants to be liked a little too much. Magic Johnson got a coach fired before he could drink. I ain't never heard Magic shy away from that.
Yeah, and a couple players.
I'm a winner, and that dude got to go. Because I am a winner. Because at 20, I have an NBA championship, a gold medal, and a high school and a college national championship, dog. All I do is win. Anybody who's not in that program got to go.
They got a dip.
I needed that from LeBron. You're going to get the coach fired, and everybody knows that they had to ask you about it. Then you just, I had nothing to do. I had nothing to do. Come on, bro.
All those guys do that.
The OZone Nation is smarter than that, bro. You ain't the first player to get a coach fired, man.
Nor will you be the last,
bro. So you ain't going to be the last. So they let that coach go. I wasn't overly thrilled with LeBron going home, just because, the whole ownership thing. But, hey, man, what goes around comes around, bro. And I really think they did that coach a little dirty, more than a little dirty. I mean, that dude got wrongfully terminated.
Well, they should never have hired him, though.
Was that?
They should have never hired him.
Even so, that's still on y'all. I don't understand it. They acting like Mark Jackson ain't never coached a basketball team before. They act like Jeff Van Gundy ain't sitting right there on the damn sideline.
Jeff Van Gundy keeps it 2-100 for the NBA.
Yeah, and Jeff
I'm
Van
surprised
Gundy,
he hasn't been fired as a commentator, to be honest, because he
Right.
could be on the OZone. This guy, he tells the truth. He tells the truth about fouls, about how they call the game. He tells the truth out there, and people don't like that.
But I'm tired
He
of the
must be waiting for the right job, or just maybe perhaps I had my run and I'm cool, because I've always liked him as a coach.
Yeah, he was a great
and
coach.
there's no reason for him to be sitting on the sideline, man.
I can't say
With
that about
Mike
my brother.
D'Antoni's sorry ass can continue to get jobs. I mean, I don't know what this dude needs to give a symposium or something about how to interview. 'Cause this guy,
He must have the
Sign
best
me up,
interview
bro.
ever. I bet you that Mike
Sign me
D'Antoni
up.
gets in the room and you just can't believe what he says.
Yeah, but the books are stacked, though. You know, he knows everything that they're going to ask and everything that they want to hear. So, you know, they keep recycling these guys. These guys are terrible.
Got to get new
Bring
coaches.
in the
Got to
fresh
get new
legs,
blood.
man. Bring
You
in
need
the
some
new
young blood.
Exactly. Bring in the young
we
blood.
don't have to worry about Houston next year. That's one team we can just cross them off the list right now.
I tell you, I had a good conversation with someone yesterday who had a great point, and he said we were talking about Houston. He was talking about Dwight Howard. You know where he said Dwight Howard should go is Portland. And Dwight Howard, if he moved over and played with Dame Lillard and those young guys and Mason Plumlee and the blah blah blah, that could be a really good look for him. He could revitalize his career.
I think even better stop would be Boston.
I mean, we were just talking about
Boston,
LeBron
maybe.
going to Boston. Boston is a
maybe
team
even-
on the come up.
I wouldn't put him in
Yeah.
a situation right there with the youngsters because he's his character is in question. So you can't put him in the situation with those youngsters. He might bring them down.
Well,
those
if that's the case,
Right, all of a
you
sudden
can't take him
youngsters out there
anywhere.
got
What are you going to
bring
do? You
him
got
out.
I can't take you anywhere, Dwight Howard.
I'm going to ruin the team.
Dwight.
Dwight.
Yeah, because they're on the bubble right now. The Boston Celtics are on the verge of being something for real. If you plug and play a
Yep.
guy, even like a Kevin Durant or LeBron in that situation, I think they're going to the next level. I honestly feel like if they got one of those big time players, that they can win the ring next year.
They weren't far off this
They
year.
can definitely make it out the East. I
Yeah.
mean, that's not really saying anything. I mean, at this point, well, I mean, like until some team signs that free agent, I mean, LeBron kind of got it on lock, and that's what kind of also leads to, back to his decision is that, if this is what we're going up against, and they're blowing us out with no problems, they're resting their starters in the fourth quarter, like we in the second week of the season,
Right.
and it's a championship.
Right.
If this is what I'm up against, and these dudes clearly ain't up to the challenge, what in the hell do I need to stay here for?
And he got all those guys paid. He
Yeah.
got all those brain dead dudes paid because he vouched for him. Now,
Yeah.
I tell you what, Laker Quick, it's always good to have you in the OZone. We appreciate your insight. We want to wish you a great day.
Love.
And
Appreciate it.
keep it honest out there like you always do. Catch you soon.
Hey,
Peace,
no
brother.
doubt. Rest in peace to the greatest, man.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Laker Quick, before you get off, I wanted you to share your story. We just did a tribute. We just did a segment on the greatest. Speak on it, please.
I was about 7, 8 years old, and I hail from South Central, as most people know. And I was just happened to be at the local storefront, small neighborhood mosque right there on Crenshaw between 54th and 57. And as the mosque was letting out, I don't even think we noticed that he was, in the back praying with us. The champ is in the house.
Wow.
And, I mean, these are grown men in their 40s, 50s. Everybody, standing around just waiting their turn to shake the brother's hand. I got my turn. He looked down at me, shook my hand. My pops was about 6'7", as you know. Definite big man confirmation above everybody's head between my pops and the champ. Made me feel strong. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can see the champ sizing my pops up. There's, something another thing.
Just in case he needed some. Just in case he had to figure out how to get him.
This brother might have some jab work.
Yeah, okay, let me get inside that jab.
Yeah, I see how this gonna go. Yeah, it's the brother was cool. He was, people understand what cool is, man. Cool comes from a place in your heart, man. It comes from having God in your spirit. Just from being sure in yourself. And boy, man was cool, and he was so comfortable around the everyman. There was no sense of celebrity. There was no nothing. He might as well just have shown up, just to copy him a 2-piece, and
with a biscuit.
But the respect that this man garnered from other grown men is like nothing I've ever seen before. And, we all know why. The brother's deeds and actions have, been well documented. And Boy, I tell you, it's tough, man. I pray that we don't lose anybody else. The artists, the greatest, Fife from Tribe Called Quest. I mean,
It's been a rough year.
Very, 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 strong brothers. Homeboy from Earth, Wind, and Fire. Hey, keep yourself healthy, folks. That's all I gotta say. Every
See
day.
that? Health advice from Laker Quick, folks. Well, glad to have you, man. Enjoy your night, and we'll catch you soon.
Absolutely. All right, y'all.
All right,
Later.
peace. Always a nice perspective from Laker Quick. Always a nice perspective from Laker Quick. It's enjoyable to hear somebody. I never personally got to meet the champ, but I know Josh's brother worked over at the Saks Fifth Avenue for a while, and he came in to buy a pair of shoes, and he did a magic trick for him where he levitated.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Apparently he was quite the magician in his last 20 years of his life. Well, I want to talk about one last thing in the Ozone. And speaking of a spillover, and that is about the Denver Broncos defensive cornerback. Aqib Talib was shot out in Dallas. And let me tell you, everything about the situation is murky and confusing. I don't know what was going on out there. I just remember the brother being a great corner, but also being completely out of control in the Super Bowl, to the point where I thought he should have been ejected from the game.
Right. He could have seriously hurt someone.
He could have seriously hurt those guys. And now they're talking about he told the police everything was a blur. I was too drunk to remember what happened. Some gunshots went off. He's even talking about, they're even speculating now he might have shot himself and Cheddar Bobbed himself up. I don't understand. I don't understand what's going on. It's such a bad thing. We see this every year. At least one professional athlete gets shot or caught up in something at the club, and yet we continue to frequent the club.
Well, what I don't understand about these guys is that they make so much money. Why don't they just hire a bodyguard or security service? Why?
Because you're tough.
Yeah.
That's why. Because you're the tough guy.
And the tough guy shot himself in the leg.
Perhaps we don't know that.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but you keep walking around with guns and everything. You don't have to do that. You have money, so spend it. You're trying to save a couple of bucks, and you end up losing more than that.
Sure do. All right, folks, this has been a very interesting and positive edition of the Ozone. I want to leave you with a quote from Muhammad Ali, and it is, "I sure wish everyone would love each other as much as they love me. The world would be a better place." But that's all right. Ozone, folks. We'll see you soon.
Late.